Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into Star Trek, specifically the very first movie, Star Trek, the motion picture. We're looking at a really critical retrospective.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this source, this review, is when it was written.
Exactly. It wasn't written back in '79. This was like decades later, after 11 films had come out.
So it has that broader context, so looking back across, different crews, different eras.
Yeah.
It's not just an initial reaction.
Right. So our mission today is to kind of unpack that reevaluation. Why does this film, which, let's be honest, a lot of people found disappointing at first, why does it get appreciation now?
Especially for its ambition, the storytelling, the character stuff.
Yeah, all of that. So let's get into it. Where does the film actually start?
Okay, so the setup is pretty classic Trek, but bigger. You've got this massive energy cloud, just huge, appears right at the edge of Federation space.
Moving fast.
Very fast. And it heads straight into Klingon territory, which, immediately raises the stakes.
Oh, yeah. Klingons don't mess around.
Nope. And they send 3 Keika battle cruisers. Big, tough ships. They try to, blast this thing.
Yeah.
And they just get vaporized.
Yeah.
Almost instantly. The review really highlights this. It shows it is. Because, you had 3 seasons of the TV show. Tight, action-packed, 50-minute episodes. Then, boom, you get this 2.25-hour movie that's slow, philosophical.
Yeah, not what they signed up for. The main complaint, the review says, was just a distinct lack of action.
Right. And that's the key to understanding the later appreciation. The reviewer admits they missed the point the first time. They were looking for the TV show, just bigger.
But it wasn't that at all.
No, it was laying the groundwork for something else, something maybe more mature. When the reviewer looked again, years later, they saw all the character development they'd missed.
That makes sense. The focus shifted. It wasn't about the pace. It was about the characters growing up, basically.
Exactly. The film really leans into them being older and wiser, or at least older and dealing with new problems. It handles them differently.
So let's talk about Kirk. He's an admiral now, desk job for 2 years. That's got to sting.
Oh, absolutely. The review calls him a fish out of water. He's got the ambition, he wants the stars, the rank, but what he really craves is being back in that captain's chair.
And he's maybe a bit overconfident, trying too hard.
Definitely rusty and arrogant about it. He doesn't trust the new ship, the new first officer, Decker.
Yeah.
And it nearly costs them everything.
That scene leaving space dock.
Yeah, where he almost destroys the Enterprise because he won't listen. The review points that out as crucial. It's a lesson Kirk needs to learn.
So he comes out of it changed?
More humble, yeah. More aware of his own flaws, and maybe more willing to trust others. It's a big step for him, not just saving the day again.
Okay, so Kirk's dealing with career angst. What about Spock? His journey seems even more internal.
Oh, totally. Spock's dealing with a full-on existential crisis. We first see him on Vulcan, right? He's doing the Kolinar ritual.
Trying to purge all emotion, achieve pure logic.
Exactly. It's this incredibly intense, visually stark scene. You see what he's trying to sacrifice. But then...
You cute, Kirker.
Yeah, this massive consciousness feature reaches out across space, touches his mind, and just interrupts the whole thing. Pulls him back.
Pulls him back towards the unknown, towards maybe his human side.
Well, it certainly pulls him off Vulcan and back to the Enterprise. He senses this powerful mind out there, something logical, but also deeply searching. The reviewer says the film is really as much Spock's journey as it is the ship's.
He's the one who can maybe understand Peter.
He's the bridge, yeah, between this cold, logical entity and the, messy human crew. He has to confront his own half-human, half-Vulcan nature to figure it out. It's complex stuff.
And Bones, he's still complaining, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. Some things never change. He's dragged back, hates the transporter. But the review notes, it feels different now.
How so?
It's less about just, having to go with the pointy-eared bloke, as the review puts it. It feels more like genuine caution, maybe self-preservation. He's older, knows the risks. It adds a bit of weight to his usual griping, makes him seem wiser in his own way.
That makes sense. It balances Kirk's renewed enthusiasm. So... with all this internal drama, the look of the film had to change too, right? Couldn't be the bright TV sets.
Definitely not. The whole aesthetic is darker, much darker. Think about the bridge. It's gloomier, the review says. Less focus on blinking lights.
More on the faces, the performances?
Exactly. It really puts the spotlight on the characters. And, the review mentions the set designs actually hold up pretty well, considering not as dated as you might expect.
And the music. That's pretty iconic, too.
Oh, the score is huge, Jerry Goldsmith. It's described as booming and imposing 1 minute, then quiet and melodic the next. Really sets that serious, almost epic tone.
And didn't it start with an overture, like an old Hollywood movie?
It did. That's mentioned as a very nice touch. Just the score playing over visuals of space before the story even kicks in. Forces you into a different headspace right away.
It feels grander, which is interesting considering the story's origins weren't quite so grand initially.
Right. That's a key piece of context. This whole story, it was originally written as the pilot for Star Trek.
Yeah.
Phase 2, the TV show they were planning in the mid-70s.
The one that never happened.
The one that got scrapped when Star Wars blew up the box office. Suddenly, Paramount wanted a movie, not a TV show. So they took that pilot script and expanded it. A lot.
Which explains both the depth and maybe the pacing issues later.
Precisely. That expansion gave them the time, the luxury, to explore themes you couldn't really do in a 50-minute TV slot. Big questions about life, identity, belonging, as the review puts it.
Stuff that needed room to breathe.
Yeah. But that same room to breathe is what makes the film feel slow to some people. You need those long shots of Spock staring into the view screen for the philosophical stuff to land.
But it kills the pacing if you're expecting Star Wars.
Exactly, it's a trade-off. Which brings us neatly to the flaws the review points out. Because even with the newfound appreciation, it's not perfect.
Okay, let's hear it. What did the reviewers still dislike? Starting with the costumes.
Oh boy, the costumes. Described as appalling. Apparently, everyone's stuck in these weird, ill-fitting jumpsuits.
Jumpsuits, like space pajamas.
Pretty much. And the review says they didn't flatter anyone. It specifically mentions they highlighted the less defined bodies on show.
Wait, did they actually call out Shatner's physique?
The review implies it pretty strongly, which, yeah, tells you those uniforms were maybe not the best choice. Memorable, though.
Memorable is one word for it. Okay, what else? Visual effects. That seems surprising for a big sci-fi movie.
Well, yeah, especially for 1979. The review argues you can't just give it a pass for its age.
Because
Star Wars came out 2 years earlier, Close Encounters was around the same time. Those films had amazing effects. This one didn't quite measure up, according to the review.
Any specific examples?
The warp speed effect is singled out as looking particularly bad, like a cheap light show. The overall feeling is the film could really use a modern effects upgrade. Make V'ger feel truly massive, make the space scenes pop.
Okay, costumes, effects, and the big one, pacing.
Yet even with appreciating the slower, more thoughtful approach, the reviewer still thinks it's just too long.
Where does it drag the most?
Two main spots, apparently pure fan service. First, when Kirk and Scotty take that long shuttle ride to the refitted Enterprise in space dock. Just endless shots of the ship.
The money shot.
Exactly, admiring the model work. And then, when the Enterprise finally leaves space dock, it's this incredibly slow, almost slow-motion view of the ship pulling away.
I remember that. It takes forever.
Right. Beautiful ship, no doubt.
Yeah.
But the review argues these sequences just stop the story cold. You've got this urgent threat coming, and we pause for like 5 minutes to just look at the ship. Kills the tension.
So summing up the reevaluation, the initial disappointment makes sense, but looking back...
Looking back, the reviewer found they enjoyed it, but in a totally different way.
Yeah.
The negative opinion was reversed. It's not an action film. It's a character piece, a meditation.
And maybe a necessary step for the franchise on the big screen.
I think that's the core argument. It had to be this bridge, moving the characters and the style from episodic TV action to something more cinematic, more focused on internal growth. It had to happen to allow for films like Wrath of Khan later.
It laid that deeper foundation.
Absolutely. Without the motion picture doing the heavy lifting on character maturity, the later films wouldn't resonate the same way.
Okay, final thought then. Something provocative for you, the listener. The source mentioned a viewer comment. Someone noticed that the theme music we associate with The Next Generation, you know, Into the Stars,
That's them, yeah.
it's actually used prominently in this film, the motion picture, which is fascinating. Now, if this movie's story came from that canceled Phase 2 pilot, how much of TNG's DNA was already present right here in 1979? The focus on philosophy, the older crew, even the music. Was the motion picture accidentally setting the stage for the Next Generation universe like 7 years early?
That's a really interesting question. How much was already baked in?
Something to think about next time you're watching that Enterprise sloopily leave space dock. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
See you next time.